competitors, welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. I am Coach Julia, and today we are going to be working on axles out here on the ice. Now, we're not going to be doing a full teach you from start to finish landing an axle jump, because I don't think that that's how most people are going to be able to learn an axle. Most people do not start out with the beginning and land it within a few days. We usually have to go through a process of helping our muscles understand what the axle jump is before we take off and do it. So today we're going to be doing 5 different positions on a circle. I usually use one of these hockey circles that I want you to memorize within your muscles. So we're going to start with position number 1. This is our backward setup for the jump. Okay, so we're doing on a circle because axles generally are done on a curve once you have any sort of comfortable feeling with them. If you're doing them on a cable harness, you're probably learning them on a line, but we're going to be doing this on a curve. If you think about taking off for a waltz jump, which is the preliminary to an axle, those are usually done from back crossovers. So what we're going to do, and I'm going to be starting out demonstrating this right-handed or counterclockwise. I will briefly show you the clockwise version as well, because I know that visual is helpful for you left-handed learners. Okay, so I'm going to be starting out doing it counterclockwise. So I'm going to be going backwards counterclockwise around my circle. That means my left foot is on the inside and my left shoulder is to the outside. So we're going to get into our first position. I want you to put your back to the circle. All right, as if your back was to the glass. I want to be leading with my left shoulder, so do not put the left shoulder on the glass, otherwise it's behind you. Okay, we want to be leading with it, so we're going to keep that left shoulder off the glass. Okay, so I'm here, my back is to the glass. I'm going to slightly bend my right knee so that I can be on my outside edge. And I'm going to put my left toe pick into the circle, but with my legs very close. Okay, so my left toe pick is not outside of the circle. It's not way out behind me. I'm bending my knee and putting it inside the circle, almost as if I was going to do a pivot. Okay, so it's behind me on the circle. So this is a position we're going to hit on the circle in just a moment. So again, on the circle, we're going to mimic that position we just did on the wall. So I have my left hand out, my left shoulder is in front of me, my right hand behind. I've got my weight on my right foot, okay, my knee is slightly bent, okay. My posture is as tall as I can keep it while being pressed down into that right foot. And I'm going to take my toe pick and put it just behind me so my legs are nice and close, but inside the circle. So when you first start each of these positions, you're probably going to wobble a bit. That's okay. You want to practice that position until you can hold it, at least for a count of 4, with 0 wobbles. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Until you can do that, you have not mastered that position. So here on the wall, I'm going to show you position number 2. Okay, so we're going to take our hands and we're going to put them behind us. Now I want you to keep that left shoulder in front. So you're slightly facing outside so that left shoulder is still leading. Okay, and your hands, you're going to be bent. All right, we want to have, like, think Barbie, old-fashioned Barbie, I guess. I think nowadays they can bend their elbows, but when I was a kid, they were bent. So we want to bring those Barbie hands behind us, okay? And they're just behind our hips. I don't want them way out, and I don't want them like touching our hips. We just want them to be able to move past our hips just freely, but close by, okay? They need to be like a hinge from the shoulder, but not a round hinge, if that makes sense, okay? Just like a pendulum. If you guys know what a pendulum is, you want that pendulum motion with your arms. Okay, so we are gonna put our weight on our left forward outside edge. We are going to have a good pressure through the outside, through the quads. We're going to keep those shoulders up so that we are not leaning forward into our takeoff. If you lean forward into the takeoff, you're going to swing back down on the landing, and that's going to not end in a nice jump. So we're going to keep those shoulders up, hands back, okay? And then this free leg, we want to practice that pendulum as well. Think of it like a letter H, that you're bringing behind you, okay? So it's not a big round motion, okay? It's not gonna swing around. You're going to give close to 90 degrees and then put that 90 degrees behind you, slightly inside the circle. So it's gonna go here, slightly inside the circle, here. Okay, so this second position, I'll do it moving in just a moment, but it's gonna be about here. So you have your left arm and left shoulder in front, both your hands behind your hips, 90 degrees, upright body, pressure into that left forward outside edge, really engaging those quads. So now we're going to practice that position 2, moving on the circle. So we're going to be here, left shoulder in front, okay? So the left shoulder is important here. We are going to put those hands bent behind us. Remember those Barbie hands. So this elbow is bent, close to your hips, but not touching the hips, okay? And then we are going to be low into our left knee, but upright with our shoulders. So when we jump, our shoulder seams are still facing the ceiling. If you think about a shirt that has a shoulder seam, I want you to always keep those shoulder seams facing the ceiling. Okay, and then we're gonna take our free leg, bend it into 90 degrees, and keep that toe inside the circle. So you're slightly facing outside the circle. Your shoulders and your hips are facing at a slight angle out of the circle. All right, so that's position number 2. Again, you want to be able to practice it until you can hold it for 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, once you can hold it without your body swinging around, then you know you've mastered that position. So now we're moving on to position number 3, the center one, and this is going to be our takeoff position. Okay, now if you were practicing this in your tennis shoes, I would allow you to go up on your toe, but for now, since we're going to be moving on the circle, I don't want you rising up onto your toe. We're just practicing what we're doing within our body. Okay, so we've come from position 2. What we're going to do is bring our arms forward, okay? So they've been back here. They're going to come forward. Now you're still leading with your left shoulder. Okay, you want to keep the left shoulder in control at all times. You want to keep it in front of you. Okay, so your left shoulder is forward, your right arm is up, but still the shoulder behind the left. Okay, that way we will still be facing outside the circle. So they're going to come up. All right, now they're not coming above my shoulders. You see how they're kind of almost even with my shoulders with those elbows still bent here. Okay, now I'm going to keep my left leg, oh no, this is my right leg. I'm doing this right-handed. Okay, my right leg is bent, and I'm going to keep that bend, and I'm going to bring it so that it's right between my hands. Okay, so I'm using the wall here to help me balance. Okay, so it's right between my hands. Okay, so it's coming through together. You want that motion to be working together. So we're going to have that knee 90 degrees right between your hands. Okay, and when we do this, we can stand up through our left leg. So we're going to practice that position number 3, moving on the circle. All right, again, if you were in your tennis shoes, you could go up onto your toes, but for now, we're going to keep that hand, that foot flat. So we're going to put your hands up, facing outside the circle. Your left shoulder is still going to be forward, okay? So you cannot let that left shoulder drop back. And your knee is going to stay 90 degrees, okay? And we're going to have those hands out, okay? This is the simplest, but very important because it's going to direct where your jump goes. We don't want your jump hooking in. Okay, it creates a very unpredictable jump and a pre-rotated jump. So we want it to be like a spoke going away from our circle. So you want to direct it with your hands and with your knee. And once you can hold it to go 1, 2, 3, 4, then you've mastered position number 3. Back at the wall, let me show you position number 4. This is going to be your in-air rotating position. Okay, so we have jumped, all right? We're imagining we're in the air. What I want you to do, we're going to be on our right side if we're right-handed. Okay, so what I want you to do is put your right hip up against the wall so you can balance a little bit. You're going to close your ankles as tight as you can, okay, so that you really are practicing that tight air position, okay? There's a number of different techniques for your arms. So if your coach has a specific arm technique, go with it. Some people will just close their hands over their right side to keep that axis on the right side. Another technique that I really like is to take your left hand, put it across your rib cage, and your right hand up to your shoulder. So you're kind of in a wrapped position. But the main thing you want to focus on here is keeping your weight fully over on your right side. So if you come over here, you can see I'm really over on my right side. My left hip is slightly elevated, and that is helping me keep my weight over on that right side. So this is your in-air position, and it's position number 4. Okay, we're going to put all of our weight on our right side, really engage those abs on that side. We're going to cross those ankles as tight as possible. We're going to cross that left hand to our rib cage and our right hand up. And I like to have you practice looking over your right shoulder. You still have your left shoulder in front. So if you notice, my left shoulder has led this entire time. And by keeping my left hip up and my left shoulder in front, it's helping me stay on my axis on my right side. And since we're landing on the right side, we need to keep that axis strong. So this is position number 5, it's our air position. You want to be able to hold this position nice and calm. I train my skaters to be able to go all the way around the circle without moving, but you want to be able to at least hold it for a count of 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we're on to our 5th position. This is the reward. This is the landing. If you've done everything else well, you'll get a landing, and that's when the jump feels really good. But we're going to practice this position on the wall as well. So since I am imagining I'm doing this right-handed, I'm going to put my right hand on the wall, and I'm going to imagine I've just landed on that right leg. So my pressure is down through the center of my skate, engaging those quads. I still want to keep my upper body really nice and tall. So think about those shoulder seams facing the ceiling. I'm going to point my left toe out, keep those quads really nice and engaged, and that left shoulder in front. So the left arm and shoulder are going to be in front of you this whole time. Okay, you should be noticing a theme here with that left shoulder. So you should be very familiar with this landing position if you've learned all your jumps and you're working on your axle. But if not, come over here and practice this landing position because it's the same one you're going to use for every other jump. So let's do that landing position, position number 5, going backwards. We're going to have our left shoulder in front, strong hands, strong left leg, pointed out, all that weight on the right back outside edge, shoulders high, engage the muscles in your back so you don't collapse on your landing, okay? So that is position number 5. You definitely want to be able to hold that at least for a count of 1, 2, 3, and 4, so you can know you control that jump once you've achieved it. Okay, so that is all 5 positions. We're going to do them now strung together. So once you can do each position, the next challenge is to put them together in a string. All right, so let's do all 5 of those positions around the circle with some speed. So I'm going to take a couple crossovers because I need that speed to be able to hold all of these. And we're going to get into position 1. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Position 2. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Position 3. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Position 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so you want to be able to do an exercise like that. You can do it over and over and over around this circle until you can do it with control, without wiggling, and those positions are memorized within your body. right, so to give you a visual for your left-handed skaters, I will do this on a circle going the other way. I do have to say this is not my direction, so I don't think I'll be able to do it with as much control as I'd like, but I want you to be able to see what this looks like, the clockwise rotating version, okay? So we're gonna start with our crossovers going clockwise around the circle, and we're gonna hit position number 1, which is our starting position. Okay, keep that right shoulder in front, left toe, right toe pick behind. My goodness, my brain is having a hard time knowing my rights and my lefts. Okay, so we have position number 1, our starting position. Then we're gonna move on. We're gonna go to position number 2, our takeoff, okay? Keep that right shoulder in front, hands behind, left leg is dipped inside the circle slightly. We're gonna keep those shoulders up nice and tall. We're gonna be down nice and deep in that right outside edge. Now we're gonna move on to position number 3. We're gonna keep that right shoulder out, okay? That right shoulder leading. Hands forward, your knee is like a spoke going outside of the circle. Okay, so here is our takeoff position, position number 3. We're gonna move from there to our air position. This is what I'm worried about. Okay, so I'm on my right side. I'm on my left side. I'm on my left side. I've closed my right over. Okay, I'm going to wrap my right hand and close my left, and I'm still keeping that right shoulder in front. This is difficult going your way, you guys. I don't practice it this way, but I'm trying to give you the best content I can. So here is our air position. Nice and tall. Keep those shoulders tall, Julia. Air position for you left-handed skaters. And then we have our landing position. We're going to keep that right hand, that right shoulder nice and strong in front. Extend the right leg. Get nice and deep down onto that left back outside edge. All right, skaters, I hope you find this Axel walkthrough exercise useful. I know there's so much Axel content on the internet, but I think if you really take the time to break down each of these steps, memorize them within your muscles, and practice them, it's really gonna help you get to that Axel jump a little bit faster. If you enjoyed this video, please do give us that thumbs up. And as always, I look forward to reading all your comments in that section down below. If you haven't done so yet, then hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell down in the corner so you can see all my videos when they come out. Happy skating, and I'll see you next time.